Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, welcome back once again to Dirty Fanatics United. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button over on YouTube, hit the like, comment, bring the comments tonight, guys. It's me running solo, so definitely bring the comments so we can keep this show rolling. If you're viewing on Twitter, please check us out on YouTube at Dirty Fanatics United. A free subscription, all it takes. Ring the bell so you know when DFU drops live content, as we are trying to reach that 1K mark, guys, and we cannot do without you. We're at 611 right now, so we appreciate everybody that has helped us out throughout this journey of 2 years of Dirty Fanatics United, bringing you Falcon coverage and Falcon content. As always, I'm your host, C Money, founder of DFU, bringing you your Atlanta Falcons content. Today, breaking news broke out. Matty Ice not taking the field, but possible head coaching job for the not head coaching job. Sorry, I'm going crazy now. I'm talking crazy. A potential front office job for the man himself, no other than Matty Ice. Shout out to Matty Ice. I hope he takes that position, whatever that position may be. Rumors say CEO, a big position for Matty Ice to come here. Should know something very soon, as the season is under wraps. You have 2 games left. So with that being said, what could Matty Ice bring to this franchise? Falcon fans, please tune in and let me know in the comment sections, what does Matty Ice bring to the Atlanta Falcons? Are you for it or are you against it? Give me one quick second. Let's check out. I got a text here. Should be left home before when you cancel. Be home for you. 10-4. David, appreciate you, brother. So Falcon fans, big matchup Monday night football in Atlanta, in the Benz. You have 2 wins this year in the Benz. Not going to say it's a must win because, it's unless you're, Raheem Morris, it is a must win because I believe he is truly coaching for his job here in Atlanta. The LA Rams, a very fly-high team. They are beatable. The Carolina Panthers did beat them this season, as well as the Seattle Seahawks, other teams that the Falcons have faced and initially didn't play up to their par. So a big matchup against LA Rams. You got Puka Nacua, their receiver that you're going to match up with AJ Terrell. Kobe Bryant will be back to get some more playing time this week, elevated to starter with the injury of Mike Hughes. That's a great topic, guys. Your thoughts on Kobe Bryant and how he's performed in his little bit of snaps you've seen this year. He played a lot more last week, was initially taken out of the game for C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson with the game-winning pick to beat the Arizona Cardinals. So shout out to Henderson for that. My guy, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, in the chat with it. First comment of the night said, "What's good, Chase? Matt's a smart guy. Why not?" I agree with you, Fandemic. I've made a poll today on Facebook asking fans, were they with it or did they hate it, or were they questioning it? Out of 100 people, 1 person said they hated it. All the rest with the love for Matty Ice. I think Matty Ice is a well-organized person that brings a lot of talent to this front office, a guy that's been through the ringer, a guy that has been in those type of games, a guy that's seen the talent. He played with Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman. I'm almost spitting out the whole 2016 Super Bowl roster, but this guy has played with some greats throughout his career in Atlanta, a guy that knows what talent looks like, a guy that has studied film throughout the last 3 years. Now his full-time job being a CBS Sports news broadcaster. So the guy knows the loops, the hoops of the game. He knows how to find those players. Maybe, just maybe, Rich McKay is out of the door, Falcon fans. That is my hope for the Atlanta Falcons bringing in Matty Ice. I pray that Matty Ice does accept this job, because not only did he do so much for this franchise, Matt Ryan absolutely loved the Atlanta Falcons. I said earlier today, Matt Ryan never left Atlanta. He's always been a part of Atlanta. I know he played 1 year in Indianapolis, but his hometown is Atlanta. He continued to support the community in Atlanta, continue to help our young rookie quarterback Penix when he had the time to do so in the offseason. Even some offseason training camp sightings of Matty Ice out at Flowery Branch. So I think Matt Ryan's a guy that respects this organization. He has high hopes for this organization, and you won't never see Matt Ryan talking about the Atlanta Falcons on CBS Sports. That's what I love about Matty Ice, a guy that just knows how to be a professional and show his true love for the game, not only the game, but for the ATL in Atlanta. Matt Ryan, possible CEO hire. Guys, let's talk a little bit about the situation we're rolling into Monday night. A big matchup, not only for the LA Rams, because they could secure, I believe, the number 1 seed spot in the NFC South. The Seahawks won today against the Panthers. That's a whole nother loop. We'll get to that here in a minute. But the LA Rams play today or Monday in Atlanta against the Dirty Birds in our throwback uniforms. Dirty Birds have a hard time losing in those jerseys, so I hope it brings us some luck in the bins to get our 3rd win this season. You do have another home game after that with the New Orleans Saints. Need to make that a dub too. That gives you 4 home game wins. I know neither one of them matter, but for Raheem Morris and Jimmy Lake, they matter a lot. Expecting to see a lot more of Drake London. You're like 200 yards away from a Drake London 2 season in a row 1K season. Would love to see Drake London hit that. Obviously, he would have if the injury never hit place. So to see Drake London get active Monday night would be a blessing. Let's not forget his last Monday night performance in the bins was against the Bills, and Drake London went stupid. So that is my hot take for tomorrow's game. Drake London shows out. Kyle Pitts with another stellar performance. I think you find a way to sign Kyle Pitts. Chat, give me a 1 in the chat if you sign Kyle Pitts. Give me a 2 in the chat if you let Kyle Pitts hit the road. Once again, guys, if you're tuning in on Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook, check us out at YouTube at Dirty Fanatics United. Hit that subscribe button. Trying to reach the road to 1K. This is a different scenario for me. I usually have 2 to 3 podcasters or co-hosts here, so I'm running this show solo dolo. We had to push the show back from 8 o'clock to 8:30, and my little boy ended up having the pink eye, so that kind of threw a ring in what we had going on. But we're here. We're still bringing you content, as we will do tomorrow. I travel up to Tennessee for a little vacation, so we'll be live with you after the game. Monday Night Football after the game from Tennessee at the hotel room. So be sure to check in for that. We may even do a halftime show, but we for sure will have a Falcons versus the LA Rams pregame or postgame show, as this is your Falcons versus Rams pregame or preview show, Monday Night Football hype. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Bring the comments. Please bring the comments, because I'm just talking to myself here at this point. You look at what Tyler Algier has done the last 2 games. Last week, with the same amount of carries as Bijan, 4 to 5 yards more than what Bijan Robinson had on the ground. So expect to see a big game out of Bijan. You've seen the 1-2 punch in Bijan and Tyler. I don't know why the Falcons haven't done that all season. It really brought a lot of, not only rest for Bijan, but some confidence for Tyler Algier. A guy that leads your team in rushing touchdowns this season has rarely seen the ball 10 times in a lot of these games this season. I could probably count on one hand how many games Tyler Algier has carried the ball over 10 times. And I haven't even checked that stat, but I'm more than sure it's no more than 5 games. Zach Robinson, guys, leave a 1 in the chat if you think Zach Robinson's job is safe. Leave a 2 in the chat if you think Zach Robinson is gone from Atlanta after the season, because, guys, it's been wishy-washy. You have games where Kirk Cousins is throwing for almost 400 yards. You have games where my guy is here, boys. My guy is here. Recognized Game is here with us to talk Falcon football. David, brother, sorry for the twist up of the schedule, man. It's been crazy over here, but glad to have you here tonight, man.
It's all good. It's all good, Chase. What's going on?
Just another day of talking some Falcon football, brother. I was just breaking down the fact of, Tyler Algier. You could probably count on one hand how many times Tyler Algier has carried the ball over 10 times this season. And I haven't checked that stat, but it's a very true statement that the Atlanta Falcons must be able to use both those backs tomorrow against the LA Rams. Against the Arizona Cardinals, both backs, 16 carries. Tyler finishing with more yards than Bijan. David, your thoughts on the LA Rams coming into Atlanta? You have 2 wins on the season at the Benz. you can get your third Monday night against a very nice, very, very nice opponent. David, your thoughts on the LA Rams coming into Atlanta?
Yeah, definitely hungry for a home win. Um, like I said, we haven't protected the Beans too good this year. I think definitely you come in, we played, like I said, we've competed against everybody we played all year. Uh, Minus a couple of games where we did get kind of blown out, but I definitely think that we can, we can get in and we can contain Puka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's my biggest scare right now is the defensive backs against Puka on the Nakua. So I think we can contain the run game, and we got to stop Stafford and Puka, and everything should shape out how it's gonna shake out.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about defensive backs, David, right before you got here on the show, we were speaking of Kobe Bryant and CJ Henderson, two guys that were brought up off the practice squad. Kobe Bryant being an undrafted free agent that the Falcons picked up. Top cornerback in college. The word came out today that he would be starting Monday night. Your thoughts on Kobe Bryant and, a possible rotation of CJ Henderson? I know you're a big CJ Henderson guy, as he did get the pick to win the game last Sunday. Your thoughts on Kobe Bryant starting over CJ Henderson?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think that the only reason that CJ Henderson actually got the game last week was the injury to AJ.
That's right.
Everything comes full circle. He got in there and made the play when it was time to make the play. So, but Kobe played the whole game. He's a competitor, and we got to get in there. Hate to see him in front of Nakua too much. In this game, with Stafford being the quality quarterback he is, I know that he, if he has to pick against going against AJ or an undrafted free agent at this stage of his career, I definitely think that we'll see a lot of balls going, towards Bryant.
Yep, absolutely. Just going through I'm not ignoring you at all. I'm reading the Falcons injury report now. Going through it, Drake London is questionable for Monday night, David. That's news to me. I did not know that. As he was a limited participant Friday. They even have Clark Phillips here on their injury list with a tricep, but he was limited practice Thursday and Friday. So Clark Phillips back on the practice field. Love to see it. James Pierce was a full participant Saturday, but all week he was limited. So I'm sure he'll play. Mike Hughes obviously did not participate all week. Kyle Pitts with a knee injury, he was limited all week, even including Saturday. So we'll see how that shakes out. I'm sure he makes the field. Jesse Bates also not injury related, resting, as well as Caden Ellis. Root did have a knee injury. He is also it said unspecified for his game status. Clark Phillips will be out for his game status, and Drake London is questionable. So would love to see Drake London out there, David. The injury bug has been lingering this year, and we spoke about it last week about, Drake London. Could he reach that 1K mark? But if he misses Monday, man, that's tough to reach that 1K.
Well, yeah, I think that, talking stats, I think that, we already got the 2K from total from Bijan.
That's right.
I think that we around the cusp. But every I would like to see the players get their numbers at this point in the career of the season.
Right.
Drake can get the 1K. We can get 1K with Pitts. I was actually looking at. I know I mentioned Tyler a few minutes ago. I was looking at Tyler's season this year compared to last year, and he's on the it seemed like that his usage went down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at his usage, and it's on par with what he did last year. I think that I think he's down to 3.8 yards a carry. And if he was up above the 4 mark like he was last year, he probably would be at the the mark that he was last year. But the usage is going to be his usage with Bijan. He's not going to get major touches and everything, but he was right on par with what he did last year. So I was shocked when I was pulled that stat
which is really questionable, David, because the guy is a touchdown magnet.
But this year he has 8 touchdowns compared to 10 the prior season, all the other seasons, he had 10 touchdowns. He's had 8 this year. So, he's pretty much become that red zone, back and Bijan between the 20s is what it seems like how
and that the way that Zach Robinson has laid out this offense, that's as it seems. And you see when Tyler's in the backfield, if he's not running the ball, he's more or less used as a blocker for the quarterback. He's a standing blocker, does a great job at it as well. I mean, David, I don't want to lose Tyler. I really don't want to lose Tyler, but the reality of it is I feel like a team could call for Tyler and have a higher number than what the Falcons value Tyler at. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic answered the chat earlier. David, we were talking about Zach Robinson. If he was safe, leave a 1 in the chat. If he was not safe, leave a 2 in the chat. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic leaves the 2 in the chat that Zach Robinson may be out the door after this season. David, your thoughts on the 2 from Atlanta Falcons Fandemic?
And we was talking about Zach, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's iffy. I think if anybody loses their job this offseason, it's going to be Zach. I do think that Raheem has another year. And is it saying if you can get a better offensive coordinator, you can keep your job? I don't know what that conversation sounds like, but I'm going to lean towards us having another offensive coordinator next year because of how anemic the offense has looked at times.
Yep.
But we'll see how that goes.
Sterling Woods in the chat said, "What's good, everyone?" Sterling, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Hit that like button. Appreciate you tuning in. He says, "Do you all see AJ shadowing Puka Monday night?" David, your thoughts on that? AJ did shadow a little bit the previous weeks when we played. I think it was Jackson Njigba, or who was it that AJ shadowed? Egbuka from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did shadow.
He shadowed Puka. Then Mike Evans went off, and then towards the end of the game, they kind of wrote him to Evans. So AJ hadn't been a corner to travel much. He held one side of the field down, but with Mike Hughes being out, and we got such a drop off with the cornerback 2 right now. I don't who's wide receiver 2 for the Rams.
That's a good question. Let me pull the roster up here as we go through these comments. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic says, "Dadgum, has Clark Phillips become that injury-prone guy? He's been hurt all year." Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, like all year long, Clark Phillips has been on the injury report every week. I don't know what's going on with Clark. I had high hopes for the guy. He was a draft pick. Thought he was going to be something special here in Atlanta. The height has always been an issue, but his upside is way much.
He just looks outmatched, and he looks too small on the field when it compares to some of these bigger wide receivers.
Yeah, and that can be a problem in the NFL because you're going up against guys that are 6'4" and you're 5'9". Sterling Wood says, "Man, I'm looking at how Ben Johnson is using his running backs. It makes me sad. Can we get an OC that can use both Tyler and Robinson?" If you look back at what Ben Johnson did in Detroit, he made those 2 backs. Like, he made those guys what they are in the NFL. Ben Johnson knows how to use his running backs, that's for sure. And guess what, guys? Ben Johnson was in the building twice for an interview. The Atlanta Falcons let him walk. Now he's going to make a playoff push with a 13-win season. So shout out to Ben Johnson. Let's see. LA Rams depth chart. Let's see. Receivers, you're looking at Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams is who it is there, Mr. David. He is had a nice season this year. They even got a decent tight end over there in Colby Parkinson. So defense has got a test Monday night, a big test. And David, you'll be at the Benz to see it all. You'll be there front row, ready to watch. So
I'll be there.
A big game that you must ask from your D-line. Get pressure on Matthew Stafford. As we know, Matthew Stafford is a very resilient quarterback in the NFL. He's been here. He's done it before. He's won a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, a very veteran presence at that quarterback position. But it has shown if you can rattle the quarterback a little bit, if James Pierce Jr. can make that double-digit sack mark Monday night, I think we walk away with a W. If you somehow get 2 to 3 sacks on Matthew Stafford, disrupt that passing game a little bit, get Devontae Adams, off out on the island with AJ Terrell, possibly see a. So now who covers Puka?
That's what I'm saying. When you said Devontae Adams, I'm like, okay, who pick your poison. I know, I know he's kind of been a little banged up this year.
Yep.
But I don't know. Just
no shit. Get
to
the quarterback. Get to the quarterback.
Cross your fingers.
David, when you look at the LA Rams defense, obviously familiar faces at the linebacker position. Nate Landman making his homecoming to Atlanta Monday night. What must this offense get started to rattle the LA Rams defense that has played very well this season?
Well, you hit it up. The running game. I know we got to get both backs involved, and I think that Bijan in the pass game is gonna show good for us. Definitely got to get Tyler. I would like to see Tyler get more touches, but we'll see how they use that. You said injury report had Pitts and London on it, which they've both been on the injury report pretty much all the second half of the season. But definitely want to continue to see Kurt in command of this offense and everything, make it real hard not to give him his money this off season and everything. So
exactly.
Finish the season up strong. So he still got some tread on his tires. How much is yet to be seen, but just definitely want to finish the season strong.
Yeah, if Kirk Cousins has any hope to get that payday to be the Falcons quarterback next season, it starts with these last few games. It was a 5-game stretch that Kirk Cousins has been the starting quarterback now. He's lost, 1 or 2 of those games? I think it was 1 game he's lost. He lost to the Seattle Seahawks. So if Kirk can somehow win the last 2 games and play good football, I think the Atlanta Falcons walk into next year with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Until Penix can, prove that he's a starter, that he is healthy and ready to go, his mindset's right. But I don't think it's a bad thing, guys. I think having a veteran presence at the quarterback position, not rushing Penix back out into the hellfire, could be a good thing for not only the Falcons, but for Michael Penix in this rehab situation. A post came out yesterday, David. I'm sure you've seen it. Penix doing the TikTok dance with his family. Yeah. So in good spirits, glad to see him back up and walking. He is putting pressure on the foot or on the leg. So definitely hoping that he, gets back in Flowery Branch. We get the rehab started, and high hopes for Penix. Falcon fans on Facebook. Some Falcon fans have already almost said that they're done with Penix. And I think that's kind of a low blow. Just the fact of how young his career is in the NFL. What he's went through his college career, still able to take the Washington team so deep as he did in his college career. I think Penix has a really high, ceiling, and if we can keep the injuries off of him, that's the major part.
He shows a lot of promise, and just it was the injury concern, and we are still talking about the injuries that he had in college, and really had nothing to do with this injury. It's totally different leg. He didn't re-injure a previous injury, so I don't know why that the injury concerns have came up, but it's so just look around the league. Like these injuries right here are just becoming more and more commonplace. Playing on these turf fields and everything that is really just cement, a very hard surface under the the
grass and pellets.
Yeah, so it has to be something more to it than because all these injuries weren't as common years ago. I guess these athletes are becoming bigger, stronger, faster, and they're putting more pressure on their joints and everything. So, and these injuries, it has to be studied more because these ACLs and these Achilles injuries. They're just this season.
David, when you say Achilles, that brings a name to my mind that a lot of Falcon fans haven't even began to think about because of the guy that filled his spot has been playing decent enough. D. Alford, Billy Bowman with the Achilles tear. A lot of Falcon fans haven't talked about that, but Billy Bowman expected to miss a little bit of next season as well. You look at you speaking on injuries, you had in the 2 to 3 weeks after Penix tear or partially tears his ACL, Patrick Mahomes, Micah Parsons, a lot of big name players, as you stated, David, have been through the same injury. So, I mean, it's not an injury that I think takes a grade off of Penix's style and play and his athleticism. It's all about the mindset, man. And somebody on the podcast said that before already. It's about the mindset of how Penix comes back and produces himself in this Atlanta Falcons offense. This time off may give Penix better understanding of what this offense is. We can get out of this pistol situation. We can get up under the center because, dude, if you watch the Giants game, David, I mean, just go back and watch Penix's first 3 games in the NFL. It was not all pistol. Which leads me, and I'll be the only one that stands out on this limb because I feed into the rumors and feed into the what ifs. I think Michael Penix was injured a lot more than what the Atlanta Falcons let off to be leading up to this ACL tear.
Right.
That's why you didn't see Penix under center. That's why you didn't see Penix extend plays with his legs, because that deep knee bruise may have been a little more than just a knee bruise.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, if you know, we'll talk about early in his career. I think Penix was that mobile run first type quarterback, and then after his injuries, I think he was at Indiana his freshman year. Says that he was a much more mobile quarterback, and extended plays with his legs a little bit, and then once he came back from his injuries and everything, he became more of a I want to stand in the pocket and deliver type quarterback, which is not a bad thing. He definitely has that rocket, type arm. And I think, a comparison that I saw this week, they did compare him to Matthew Stafford as someone with a cannon arm.
Zach Robinson was that comparison. Yeah, Zach Robinson.
You stand up there and, deliver the ball. The quarterback position, everybody think that, okay, you just, get off the bus and I'm an NFL quarterback. And definitely it takes some time. Jordan Love, these type people that were able to sit up under a veteran quarterback and then, take the reins,
which was initially the goal with Kirk Cousins, correct? And then
correct.
Kirk Cousins gets injured and the Falcons have to put Penix in that situation.
And then when Kirk got healthy, it was just okay. We have this, high draft choice that we've teased the fan base with, and then they're eager to see Penix, being a starting quarterback. But I think they really should have stuck to the plan. I think we came back. Cousins comes back, start the season. Maybe it's hindsight now, but maybe we'll come back and we're talking a different results for us in the season right now for the Falcons.
Speaking of the quarterback position, David, you posted it today in the group chat about Falcon fans going crazy over a particular quarterback. We got a comment here from Sterling Willis. Says, a lot of people have been talking about Malik Willis. Would you cut Kirk and sign him to save cap space? I'll answer that quick and simple. Malik Willis has a great coach. David, you said it in the group chat. He's under a Matt LaFleur. He's got a great coach that calls these plays for him. Do we really believe Zach Robinson coaches Malik Willis the same way that Matt LaFleur could? David, your thoughts on Sterling Wood's comment here? We got another co-host here in the backstage. I'm going to go and add him. My guy, Cody Keeler, coming through to talk some Falcon football. Cody, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, boys?
We are speaking about the Malik Willis comment here from Mr. Sterling Wood. Shout out to Sterling for the comment. David, your thoughts on Mr. Sterling's comment?
Like I said, that when I saw the post that was on the Falcon group that I put in the group chat, pretty sure that's probably what Sterling is talking about. And I just thought, every time someone has a great game, whether it's a former Falcon player or the pretty toy on the shelf that has a good game. The Falcon fans want some.
Yeah.
So Malik Willis, good young player. He had his shot to come in the league like Penix did, and it took him some years to get a hold, catch hold as a backup quarterback, and then he come in, he have a good game with LaFleur. So Falcon fans, we have to be patient at the quarterback position. Not many. Even let's talk C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud came in the first year, had an awesome year. Has struggled since then. But that quarterback position is so volatile that you got to give that person time. If you keep flipping the quarterback over year after year after year, you're always going to be looking for a quarterback. So
yeah, and that's the situation that the Falcons have been in for the past 5 years here since the departure of Matt Ryan. Cody, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you here tonight to talk some Falcon football. It's been a minute. As I told David earlier, sorry about the schedule change up, man. It's been crazy over here, but glad to have you for 10, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes to talk Falcon football. Cody, how you been doing, brother? And what are you expecting Monday night against a high-flying LA Rams team in the Benz? Cody will be there. David will be there. Our other guy, Rick, will be there as well. What are your expectations for Monday Night Football in the Benz? Now, remember, Cody, you only have 2 this year. You only have 2 of those games you're able to walk out past that dirty bird and say, we got the dub.
Yep.
Your thoughts on Monday Night Football?
Man, I kind of want to play spoiler for the Rams. John Fricke was kind of talking about it, back when we played in the NFC West. It's kind of an old division rival. So it would be nice to play spoiler for them and then to push them maybe a little further back from the draft pick that they get first round from us. So, maybe hurt them a little bit, man, I think this is a Falcon team that's pretty dangerous. The way that we're playing offensively. Yeah, we're kind of in a dogfight with Arizona, which was a little shocking to me, but we had, that was the first time we had got a W in Arizona in that stadium since that stadium had been open, which I found hard to believe, but that field is trash. So I think that probably hurt us a little bit, as you saw, the slipping and sliding to kickers. And, so I fully expect the Falcons to come out and be competitive and to want to play spoiler a little bit. I think, Raw is probably coaching for the right to be here again. I think a lot of these players, that may be free agents that we can't sign are obviously, putting tape out there for teams that'll be looking to sign them. So really, I'm thinking, the Falcons should be coming out. They should come out hot. I mean, you got nothing to lose, man. So just whatever you got going, you might as well give it a shot. So
Cody, we talked about I didn't mean to cut you off. It just hit my mind. We talked about before you hopped on the show that Drake London all week has been a limited participant. He is listed as questionable. Kyle Pitts was limited with a knee injury, but it doesn't say he's out or questionable. Your thoughts on how you get this offense back fly highing if you have a banged up Kyle Pitts that is on a 1K kind of season. And we talked about last week getting Drake London back to that 1K mark. Last week wasn't so hot, his first game back. Obviously, there's going to be a little rust to shake off. Now, back on the injury list, what do the Atlanta Falcons have to do to be able to get this offense flying high against a former familiar face, Nate Lamon, at the linebacker position? Cody, he's wreaked havoc all season. How do you get that? I mean, we all know if you get Bijan started, it's going to be a long day for that defense.
Well, and that would be my – yeah, no, that would be the key, though. It would be Bijan in your passing game. If you do have a Kyle Pitts, that's a little, banged up, nicked up. You have a Drake London that's maybe not feeling, that's obviously not feeling 100%. But I think, coming back home on a better turf and all that stuff, I have a feeling that Drake will have a better game, so you can get him involved a little bit more. But, I mean, guys, let's be honest. Our offense, the key to get the running game started and passing game all runs through Bijan. He's special that way. 2,000-yard all-purpose. Man, he's just something else. So I think, that's how you get it all kicked off is you start with Bijan. I would love to see Bijan out in the slot, get Tyler out in the back, in the backfield, something to mix that up, but I think Bijan's your key to getting everything started, as always.
The run game was pretty nice in Arizona, as both rushing, Tyler and Bijan, both over 70 yards on the day, both touched the ball 16 times. Should the Atlanta Falcons feed off of that, Cody? I know we've expressed that enough on DFU that they have got to start using Tyler in the same predicaments as they use Bijan in. Tyler's more that north-south running back. I don't need to see no sweeps with Tyler. But you've seen a game last week where both backs went over 70 yards on the ground, both 16 carries, a very equal amount of, run-pass type of game. Is Zach Robinson – okay, so the comment earlier, Cody, was, is Zach Robinson safe or is Zach Robinson out the door? Cody, just how much does this Monday night game and then the following Sunday night game when the New Orleans Saints come to Atlanta matter for Zach Robinson in Atlanta? And also, shout out to Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. Said, "What's up, Cody?"
What's up, man? Honestly, I think if Coach Raheem Morris comes back, I think Zach Robinson's comes back too. Because what is the point of keeping your head coach and then starting over with the new offensive coordinator? I think they're kind of a package deal there. So I mean, as long as the offense doesn't come out and we only score 3 points Monday night, I'm pretty sure Zach Robinson's coming back for one more. And who knows, guys, maybe he gets it figured out and he figures out the key, finally, hey, we got to have balance with Tyler and we got to have balance with Bijan, and maybe Kirk comes back and it's one of those things is like we look better, with Kirk under center and this offense opens up.
So will there be more podcasts where Cody doesn't wear a t-shirt?
Well, that would be it would be a good thing, man, because that means we're doing good. That would definitely be a good thing for us.
Cody, okay, you saying that Zach Robinson come back. Mike McDaniels hit the coaching carousel and he's in there.
Ring,
you on the phone? Are you on the phone?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if there's a better option like that, I mean, absolutely. He needs to pick up. It may very well be a Jimmy Lake situation. Be like, look, Raw. Like, once this council of well-being that the Falcons are bringing in, be like, hey, Arthur, just so you know, like, okay, your head coach, great, but your offensive coordinator,
So being that I have both you guys here, I wanted to wait for Cody because I know Cody, as we all are huge Matt Ryan fans. The news break today that the Atlanta Falcons have potentially offered a front office job to Matt Ryan in Atlanta. David, we'll start with you and then go over to Cody. Your thoughts on Matty Ice, possible front office personnel here in Atlanta next season to come?
That puts my mind in so many different places, that what is the position going to entail? Just
that's right.
The name alone, is going to, resonate in the heart of a lot of the fans, whether it be good or bad. Because you had the people that loved Matt Ryan, and you had the people that hated him for whatever reason it is. I was always a Matt Ryan fan myself, so I thought definitely the best quarterback that came through the organization. So all depends on what Is it just for optics, or is it an actual role that's gonna pay dividends or something? They can be a consultant, but he's with the organization. So right now it doesn't really mean anything to him. They're just throwing the name out there for the fans' sakes and stuff. So I have to get more details before I can make an informed decision about whether it's
the Twitter world. The Twitter world likes to take rumors and they fly off with it. A potential rumor was that maybe Rich McKay is out the door. That is just a rumor, as we know now. That's kind of hard for me to believe, David. I see the smirk on your face. That's a hard one to believe, but with the fact of how long he's been in this organization, how much trust that Blink has in Rich McKay.
I'll get it. Figure that out when Adam Schefter or somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the rumor is, Cody, that it is a high stature position that the Atlanta Falcons have offered Matt Ryan. Cody, your thoughts on sitting at the bins on a Sunday or a Monday, looking up, and Matty Ice is at every game because he's part of the organization. Cody, your thoughts on Matt Ryan joining this front office?
Yeah, man. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I always like when you get football people, because Blank Trust, he's got his like group of like football people. To me, there's nothing better than that on-field experience and bringing football people that have played the game to bring them in. Like, so whatever Matt Ryan's role really is, I think it's just good because you're bringing in an incredibly smart football person. So when it comes to whether like David said, like we don't really know what his role's going to be. But you got to imagine whatever Matt puts his hands on, Matt's going to do what Matt did when he was the quarterback here. He's going to be thorough. He's going to be good at what he does, and he's going to handle it professionally. So I definitely think a little bit of it is, hey, we're bringing, I think the Falcons are finally trying to bring back like that, like, hey, here are the guys that, have like built this core of this team. Like this is our, I think that's kind of one of the things that they're doing, maybe kind of brings back fans, reassurance of like, okay, we finally have a name that we know in the front office making, some kind of decision or overseeing whatever Matt might oversee or whatever decisions he's making. Now, of course, you're going to have the fans as soon as we lose one damn game.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Ryan making decisions. He couldn't, on the field, and now he's, screwing up. You're going to get that. But I think having Matt around, period, is, not only good for the front office side of it, but Michael Penix too, knowing that, hey, if, like he said earlier, I really don't have that guy on the sideline when I'm struggling or whatever. Well, now you've got the Falcons only MVP, the, quarterback that, should have had us, had us that Super Bowl one until, whatever, all the garbage happens. Then he could be like, Matt, what's going on? This is what I'm struggling with. What do you see? Matt Ryan was great under center. He was great in hurry up. So those are like some of the things that I think Penix really struggles with. And obviously we've seen that with, him not being under center and running, 90% of our plays in pistol is like Matt's going to be able to be there and be there more often than just being a camp body. So that's right. I'm definitely excited about it. It's always good to see, like I say, I've been a huge Matt Ryan fan since he's been, since he got here in 2008 when he was drafted. So it definitely excites me as a fan too.
Well, what excites me most about it, Cody, and it's not even really the role, but it's having Matt Ryan back in the building, as you stated, with, Penix working out with Matt Ryan in the offseason and his little bit of time that he had free. Matt Ryan didn't have to do that. What really excites me about it is Matt Ryan's the guy that not only loves Atlanta, but loves the Atlanta Falcons. Like,
right.
He's been a Falcon. Like, he took 1 year away from Atlanta, went to Indianapolis, but in my heart, Matty Ice has always been an AT alien, and that's how it'll always be here for me. To see a familiar face back in the building, a guy that got you to that big game, a guy that won that statue or that trophy that nobody else on the Falcons franchise of history ever has won. I think it's a big thing for the Atlanta Falcons to bring in a guy like Matt Ryan, a guy that's seen the game, played the game, can break down those simple situations, as you stated, to Michael Penix and all these guys. Abno says, good morning, cuzzo. Sheesh, you must have stayed up all night, bro.
Now, Chase, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with them bringing Matt back. But like I said, am I going to get excited about him being back until I see the role and what he's going to do? I can't make a decision. But, I'm all for, Matt Ryan, being back with the organization because, like I said, he is a Falcon, like you said. But until I get excited that he's coming back, I just got to see at what capacity he's going to be working with the team.
If the rumors are true, if Rich McKay is really out the door, dude, that really makes me happy. And it ain't even just because Matt Ryan taking that spot. Like, if they announced Rich McKay was fully stepping away from the Atlanta Falcons, you have made my day. Like, you have absolutely made my day.
Well, like does he supposed to be on the football side of things? I thought he's
not supposed to be, David. The report said that he wasn't.
He was. Didn't have any say in the football operations, but of course, the fans, as long as he's with, Mercedes Benz. What is the Mercedes Benz or whatever?
Some APG or some shit.
APG. Yeah. As long as he's with APG, he's still gonna be part of the decision makers with the Falcons in the eyes of the fans. So, I thought that was done 2 years ago.
Yeah. But hopefully with that, because because Like, and I can see where David's coming from, definitely, because like it could be a whole lot of fluff, like, oh, we're bringing Matt Ryan, guys, over here. But to me, it wasn't just, they weren't saying, hey, we're bringing Matt Ryan on. It was like, we're bringing Matt Ryan on for a significant, large role in the front office. That was the
shout
key
out to
to
Myles
me.
Garrett, because Myles Garrett is who I seen report it. He actually reliked the post on Facebook. Shout out to Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett's pretty spot on with what he brings, and one of his lines was that it was expected to be a significant front office role. So I don't know what it'll tell, because guys, we ain't got but 2 games left. So I mean, only time will tell what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do. I'm sure we'll know something within a month if Matt Ryan is truly coming back to the organization to be a front office role. But guys, I know we're not at our hour mark. Supper is done. I'm supposed to be in the kitchen right now eating pot pie. So give me your score predictions for Monday night. I know it's kind of a hard prediction to give. We're facing a really good team Monday night. So give me your score predictions, and then after that, give me your shout-outs. Also, Falcon fans tuning in right now, we will be live Monday night after the game. I'll be on my cell phone, but we will be live Monday night after the game. David, kick it off.
Score prediction. I think that I don't think we win a shootout with them, so I'm gonna hope for a low score, ball control, running game, 21-17 Falcons.
Love it. Cody, score prediction, and then we'll rotate back to David for shout outs. Shout outs for you, David.
Lord, good Lord up above. The family is pretty much the same all the time. Fam for their support. DFU for the platform to get on here and talk Falcon football.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we get Cody back in here for the score prediction before we log out. My score prediction for tomorrow night, the Atlanta Falcons face the LA Rams. I'll say the Falcons walk away with a W. You'll never hear me say the Falcons lose. Falcons walk away with a W, 21-17, a close, hard-fought game. Cody, are you here, brother? Can you hear us? Cody has left the chat. Falcon fans, I want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, all the viewers that came in, brought the comment section, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, Omnal, Sterling Woods. Appreciate you guys. Nick Bungalow as well. We appreciate you guys for coming through and dropping the comments, as it does keep the show rolling. As always, man, shout out to my co-host, awesome panel of co-hosts here at DFU. Shout out to the good Lord above. Shout out to the wife. Prayers that the little boy gets better. Definitely pink eye, don't want it running around the house, so we got to get rid of that. Cody says 20-17 Falcons win. Hey, we key on with it, Cody. That's the same. Well, I said 21. That's right. So Cody's 20-17. But as always, man, shout out to you viewers, dog. Without y'all guys, we do not have this panel, and we could not appreciate y'all enough. With that being said, tune in Thursday night after the live football game. David, let me know when you get home, and we'll kick it off live whenever you're free after that game. Same with you, Cody. If you're tuning in, same with you. He said PC battery died. That's all right. We'll catch you tomorrow night, brother. As always, man, rise up from Dirty Fanatics United. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell if you haven't already. Rise up. A-Town down. We appreciate y'all.